So now, karibu to Alboa Cinema. I'm a bit late to this story. So last week or was it last week or the week before, Tyler Perry released Straw. Review is coming. I've watched it and I have things to say about it. A lot of people have things to say about it. But then in the wake of that, something else happened. I got sued, Tyler Perry, that is, for $260 million. For those who have not heard what it's about, let's listen in. So this video is 27 minutes long and it's from Law and Crime Network. Of course, we're not going to react to all of it because I just like to catch a few, then send you to the channel for you to go watch the rest. It's just the fair thing, you know, when you're using someone's content to react to what. I think it's the fair way. I'll also leave the link to the video in the description. So let's hear what the people over here are saying about Tyler Perry. Let's get a bit controversial.
Breaking news coming into Law and Crime. Actor, director, and film titan Tyler Perry is the latest celebrity to be accused of sexual assault. We got our hands on a new lawsuit filed Friday in Los Angeles Superior Court by an actor named Derek Dixon, who starred on one of Perry's hit shows. We want to break down this lawsuit and
Derek Dixon. This guy's I'm sure that's a name he changed to operate in Hollywood.
what it could mean for
But
the
the people do that. They change their names to operate in Hollywood.
movie mogul. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. To start off, Dixon is
Now, before we go forward with what he's going to say, personally, I have a lot of respect for Tyler Perry for the business he built around the Madea character and all the others to be able to have the worth that he's now having his own studio and all those things. That is one side of it. I'm not the target market for his movies. It's not. When you've watched one, you've watched them all kind of situation. So I'm not going through all the same kind of tropes I see in every movie that he makes. If it's relationship movies, the same thing. If it's Madea character, it's a bit more, you know, the themes are a bit more different, but it's kind of the same thing also. So no, but yeah, he knows his audience and he always hits them right there on the spot. What especially Straw has it has discombobulated single mothers, I'm telling you what.
suing Tyler Perry, the individual, as well as his production studio. That studio is called TPS Production Services, LLC. That stands for Tyler Perry Studios in Action, LLC. And he is looking for $260 million. Dixon, who portrayed a lead role in Perry's show called The Oval, is claiming 10 causes of action for the civil suit.
Let me see if that Oval. Oval, Tyler Perry, drama series. Let's see. Oval. The Oval. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 4.5. It's like a 4.5 out of 10, so it's not that good. So let's see. Let's see the characters. Let's see those ones. So is he near? I can't. Is he? He's not that guy, is he? Oh, is it? No, he's not. Huh. How about they removed him? Okay, let's continue.
Quid pro quo sexual harassment, work environment sexual harassment, workplace gender violence, violation of the Bain Act, a California law that protects against violation of someone's civil rights.
Are you gay, young man? No, you carrying balloons. Okay, so
It's through force or coercion, sexual battery, sexual assault, negligent retention, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and retaliation.
the one of the weirdest things I always found out about this emotional whatever. How do you gauge that? I think it's one of the biggest scams I ever been. Somebody can just say, "No, my feelings are hurt." Everybody's feelings get hurt. That means you have to get paid for it. I mean, deal with your own feelings. I'm sorry, I just don't care about emotional distress. I don't.
Let's get into this lawsuit. The complaint starts off by saying, quote, This case arises from a sustained pattern of workplace sexual harassment, assault, and retaliation perpetrated by Tyler Perry, a powerful media mogul, against plaintiff Derek Dixon, a professional actor and screenwriter. Mr. Perry is an American actor, filmmaker, and playwright who has built one of the most successful careers in the film and television industry. Mr. Perry took his success.
They're just talking about his success right now. It's a preamble for something.
And power, and used his considerable influence in the entertainment industry to create a coercive, sexually exploitive dynamic with Mr. Dixon, initially promising him career advancement and creative opportunities, such as producing his pilot and casting him in his show, only to subject him to escalating sexual harassment, assault, and battery, and professional retaliation when Mr. Dixon did not reciprocate Mr. Perry's unwanted advances. These events occurred while Mr. Dixon was employed as a series regular on the Tyler Perry show, The Oval, and while Mr. Perry held direct control over his employment, compensation, and creative opportunities.
Now, that, as you've heard it, is something that actually happens quite frequently in Hollywood. We've all heard the Diddy stories, the cases going on, Harvey Weinstein, what. Exchanging sexual favors for jobs is not just even a Hollywood thing. Here in offices, people do that all the time. I abhor that habit because of the amount of mediocrity it infuses into work environments and the amount of mediocre people that are infused into the work environment. That's why I can't stand it fast. And then, of course, it has the moral implications, where people are able to just trade sexual favors for things. So the way it's been structured, it's something that would happen. I don't know whether it's happened. In this case, let's continue.
This lawsuit even compares Perry to some other infamous celebrities who have been called out for their behavior in the past. Quote, just like Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Sean P. Diddy Combs, Kevin Spacey.
Actually, Kevin Spacey was found innocent. Of course, his reputation is ruined, but he was found innocent, so I don't know why they're including him there.
Roger Ailes and many others in the industry. Mr. Perry's success has led him to believe that money and influence can get him whatever he wants.
Money and influence does get you mostly what you want, until you piss off the powers that be, of course.
That belief slowly transformed into the false idea that Mr. Perry can get whomever he wants. According to the lawsuit, Dixon was working as part of an event staff at a party that Perry was hosting in Atlanta when Perry noticed him and offered him the chance to audition for a part.
He saw a handsome young man. A boy, I laugh at these things. Let me tell you first, so that you guys are like, me, the moment a case like this comes out, and somebody has already put a figure, I want $260 million. The moment you come with that, there's no court case, you need to go to the police, I'm sorry, I don't believe you. I don't. That's just the way I'm built. If you come with and ask for money first, especially such egregious amounts of money, you'll never make yourself, Mr. Handsome Young Man. You'll never. But I guess the way they do it is like you come with an outrageous amount, then they negotiate it down. And I think in this, what normally happens, somebody institutes the lawsuit, then they go off camera and go discuss and somebody gets paid. Like a lot of celebs, even when they're not guilty, they kind of like, okay, give them to go away, which is actually bred a lot of this nonsense. If you're innocent, in my view, you do not pay a cent. Don't care how litigious they can be. Let's go. Because your word should mean something. Not that you're paying off on the side there, then you decide, I was innocent. No, as far as I'm concerned, when somebody pays money for these lawsuits, they are guilty. I'm a very simple man. You're guilty if you pay the money. So, in my opinion, if Tyler Perry settles in any way, he's guilty. That's the way that's just the way I'm built. But also, these people just come with the money first. Yeah, I don't believe you either.
part in one of his hit TV shows. Before we get back to this bombshell lawsuit involving Tyler Perry, I want to bring you a law and crime legal alert. If you received a Depo-Provera birth control shot and were later...
I have to jump. This is kind of their ads. They do like really long ads.
...called Ruthless. Then Dixon did have a small part on Perry's show called Ruthless. Then he returned to his event staff job, through which he was hired to work at Perry's parties in places like Los Angeles and Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Terry akaona nyama imekuja bwana. Tyler Perry aliona nyama imekuja. This is, my friend, you can't tell me after all this, at least the last 20 years we've heard of the degeneracy of Hollywood and how they do things. You still give these guys reasonable doubt because you like their movies, or because you think you saw them as this hero in your mind, and then you find they do these things. You have to move accordingly, but they don't care about you. Even if they've shattered their image in front of you, you gotta be a grown-up and say, no, if somebody's a degenerate, no. It's difficult for artists because sometimes you love someone's art, then you're like, I don't think you can love the art and hate the artist. I think you can, very easily.
As Dixon spent more time with Perry, he says that Perry would flirt with him.
Eve Online is a
through text messages, and his advances became more aggressive. Dixon claims that he was invited to
that would be like how Kenyan gays me. Yeah.
Perry's Georgia home, where he and Perry drank together. When Perry told him he was too drunk to drive and offered him his guest bedroom, Dixon says he accepted. But then he claims that while he was asleep, Perry climbed into bed with him and tried to initiate sex. Dixon says he tried to distance himself from Perry, but he was offered a role on Perry's show, The Oval. The lawsuit then reads, Dixon did...
So he did that, he gave you a role and you kept quiet until now. Is that what I'm hearing? What do you hear, guys? What do you hear? Did you alipewa role?
His best to tiptoe around Tyler Perry's sexual aggression while keeping on Mr. Perry's good side. Mr. Perry made it clear to Dixon that if Dixon ignored Perry or failed to engage with the sexual innuendos, Dixon's character would die in the next season. Indeed, Dixon's character Dale was shot 4 times in the chest at the end of his first season on the Oval, and Perry always held this over Dixon's head, implying that Dale would survive if Dixon kept Perry, quote, happy. According to the complaint, Perry had made it clear to Dixon that he would kill characters in order to get an actor to be loyal or obedient.
This is actually something that a lot of producers, directors do. If they don't like a character, if a character just came off wrong, it's not necessarily just because they wanted something and they didn't give them. Maybe the character comes and does something out there that destroys the image of the production house or the product they're on. There's a lot of reasons, but they do it all the time. They kill off people. Maybe the actor is no longer available and he'll never be. Maybe you only had them for a period of time and the time has passed and they don't want to renew, so they say they traveled to Africa or or was robbed on the streets and died.
In the pandemic, Dixon says Perry convinced him to stay in one of the houses that was part of Tyler Perry's studios, quote, in or around April of 2020. And while Dixon was living in the studio homes on set, Perry often coerced Dixon to drink alcohol and then get on the phone with Perry. Perry would frequently have someone drop off alcohol at Dixon's door. Perry would eventually turn these phone calls into sexually explicit rants. Perry would get frustrated with Dixon and tell Dixon that he was not giving Perry, quote, what he needs. Dixon's refusal to succumb to Perry's sexual advances caused Perry to be ever more frustrated. Eventually, Perry warned Dixon that if Dixon told his castmates about the harassment, Dixon would be opening himself up to lots of, quote, questions and foolishness, and demanded that Dixon not discuss any of their conversations with his castmates. Dixon's lawsuit also listed out some of the sexual commentary by Perry that Dixon claimed he experienced while filming The Oval in 2020. This is what he says that Perry told him. Dixon said that Perry told him, quote, that he liked being choked. That was after Dixon's character was choked by a cast member in a scene on The Oval. Perry also...
These guys and their sexual perversions. Ay, kila pahali, oh, I like this extra, I like that extra. Ah, God, so gross. Many of you actually, you people are so gross. Cheni watch porno. Hizo pornoxto mnawatch hapo sana. Hizo za haribu bana. Hey, everybody wants to be a porn actress or actor. They want to test this forbidden fruit. Ah, degenerates. Oh.
Allegedly said, "Why do you twist your hips when you walk? How can I get a day of Dixon? When will you be thick again? I love how I feel right now, but I don't like being horny. I feel sorry for the first person who flirts with me, and I've been trying to put that energy somewhere else, but everything is sexual on this stuff." The lawsuit also contained numerous text messages from Perry to Dixon, some of which seem to have been sent when Perry was intoxicated.
So there's messages, there's there's text messages. Why do people do that these days? Like you know that sending somebody an SMS or a video or like that can be used against you, especially when you're trying to be a loser. But you know these guys, they don't. You've reached a level where you think, this thing can't happen. In as much as it happens, a lot of people think they're immune to those things. That's a fact, man. So I don't. There are text messages. I think we look for them. Let's just listen. Yeah, Kidogo.
And if Dixon didn't respond, according to the complaint, Perry would hound him. Dixon also claims the harassment turned physical. Quote, "On multiple occasions, Mr. Perry sexually assaulted Mr. Dixon, including one instance where he forcibly pulled off Mr. Dixon's clothing, groped his buttocks, and attempted to force himself on Dixon." Mr. Dixon.
It's just, you know, us medium ugly people are attacking your chance. You they know us, we are about to we'll give you an early visit with Saitan. That's the like the audacity of someone to do that. They must think they really have you like under their thumb. You know, they must think that, because my goodness, I would take out someone. I would immediate. They would not have the chance to regret their actions because they'll be unalive.
Dixon told a drunken Perry no and attempted to remove Mr. Perry's hands, but Mr. Perry held tightly onto Dixon's wrists. Mr. Dixon was only able to escape after de-escalating the situation by abruptly changing the subject.
So they so this lad hey, so it seems that he was giving the guy those vibes. He was telling he's looking a bit fruity. I think he's fruity, but you know that means that somebody wants it. You want to give it by force. Repair your kitu. It happens to women also. As you've heard me, I've not done videos like that for a little bit because at the time I asked these actors of ours, local and crew, if they are producers who've done those things. A few sent and they tell me, don't use my name. So what's the use? They're all trying to hide this thing happen and they don't want to do anything about it. So it continues. What do you want people to do? So this thing of pretending that you're saving yourself or career or what by taking that nonsense. No, you're a willful participant. That's my assessment of it. You're a willful participant, and maybe you're just mad you didn't get the results you wanted. You know, like a woman sleeps with you and thinks you're going to buy her a car, and you don't. Then she comes out and said, "Oh, he assaulted me." Same thing.
The day after the assault, Mr. Perry called and texted Mr. Dixon relentlessly saying, "Tried you, call me, and I really need to talk to you. Please call me as soon as you can." And finally, when Mr. Dixon answered Tyler Perry's call, Mr. Perry profusely apologized for the sexual assault while blaming it on other things.
Alcohol. It's usually alcohol. But you see, if this guy incriminated himself with voice messages and texts, and is it too big to fail? I don't know. You know, in America, anyway, not just America, everywhere. If somebody has enough money, and maybe you're still with the system, because the way he plays that black woman card is still in the system. He's part of the propaganda machinery, Hollywood. So they might purpose it to make sure it doesn't come out or he doesn't suffer it as much repercussions. And I know for sure a lot of his women fans will forgive him. Say, he's not really like, but I don't know how they'll react when they realize maybe he's gay. How will they react? Maswali.
Perry continued, quote, he didn't know why he would do that. Maybe he was self-sabotaging. On the
No, it's because you're self-absorbed, you're a bit narcissistic, and you want things by force instead of asking nicely. It happens to a lot of people get very powerful. It's not like it doesn't happen to people who are poor and can get away with it. I think it's just a human condition. If you can get away with something, people tend to do it a bit more. Especially when you don't have a culture of mitigating such kind of degeneracy. Because like in Hollywood, they don't. Everybody do what you want when you want. There it is. Do what you want. Then.
The very same call where he apologized for the sexual assault against Dixon, Perry told Dixon, quote, and don't worry, we're going to do your show, referring to the pilot that Perry knew Mr. Dixon had desperately wanted to produce.
When somebody has done that to you and then they're now dangling the show, I mean, like, why are you even there if you're not really a participant? Why are you there? They've done that and now they tell you, why are you there? Omera, why are you gay?
Shortly thereafter, Mr. Dixon got a call from Perry's lawyer saying that Christmas had come early and that Dixon was getting a substantial raise and the show was greenlit. Perry's attorney explicitly warned Dixon not to tell any other actor on the show about Dixon's raise because no other actors were getting a raise, only Dixon. Later,
if that's the truth, it's a straight up bribe, yeah?
in the lawsuit, Dixon's lawyers write, in or around April 2022, before beginning
This is the boring part where you need to get the details. I really don't like when the viral clips here and there that don't really explain what the case is. So this is what this video is for, so that you don't go there saying, hey, whatever things you don't know.
to shoot the next season of The Oval, Perry called Dixon to discuss the June 2021 sexual assault. On the phone call, Perry lectured Dixon about how Dixon was overreacting to the sexual assault because of prior sexual assaults in Dixon's life. Perry said that there was a misunderstanding and miscommunication and that Dixon needed to say no stronger.
Not it no, you watch it.
Hey, we know these things, man.
In other words, Perry blamed Dixon for the sexual assault, claiming that Perry felt
That's diabolical. Tyler, if you did that, that's just diabolical, man. Like, no, if you had said no a bit strong, I would have stopped. Actually, some people just get more belligerent when you do that. So
that Dixon's no was really a yes because Dixon did not say no strongly enough. Dixon says he finally
that one goes to court and he says that, and if that one is anywhere written or what, oh my goodness. Tyler Perry will pay his billion. You're talking kwa hiyo shida.
quote, woke up to the fact that Perry was allegedly stringing him along about working with him on his own show to keep him around to be sexually harassed. In 2024, Dixon reported Perry's alleged conduct to the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. According to the lawsuit, after reporting the sexual harassment, defendants, which is Perry and his studio, did not make any investigation into the complaint and did not take any steps to prevent further harassment from occurring. Because defendants took no action to prevent further assault or harassment, Dixon had to quit his job working on the last season of The Oval.
That's what you should have done at the very beginning when anything of the sort was done, and you go to court or you come back, you record him, you make sure he gets some evidence. Make sure he pays. Don't start acting a fool. Oh, no. That's where you stop. You don't just go back to the predator to work for the predator and then complain that the predator is acting in predatory ways. What is wrong with you people? No, I don't take poverty or opportunity as... If you decide to compromise yourself like that, no one cares. You've made your money, go away.
Dixon did so even though he was under contract to finish filming and stood to make close to $400,000. Dixon did not want to be sexually harassed or be placed in danger of a sexual assault again. Defendant then retaliated against Dixon. Defendant told Dixon if he quits and told the other actors why he quit, he would be in breach of his contract.
You really, even if you have an undisclosure, if some criminal activity happened, it doesn't apply. I know that.
Defendants told Dixon that the only way out was to portray his departure from the show as a medical leave due to the emotional distress caused by the sexual harassment. Instead, defendant made the leave of absence unpaid and therefore terminated plaintiff's employment, causing Dixon additional loss of income and insult. But Tyler Perry is fighting back. In a statement, an attorney for Perry reportedly said the allegations are a, quote, scam. The attorney went on to say, we are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fail. The attorney, who according to TMZ is identified as Matthew Boyd, said in full, this is an individual who got close to Tyler Perry for what now appears to be nothing more than setting up a scam. But Tyler will not be shaken down, and we are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fail.
This is what I think. The guy, the actor, knew this guy's Tyler Perry is fruity. Then he dangled his ass around the set. He knew that Tyler, you know the way a hot woman knows, hey. So he did the same thing. Tyler wanted to smash without chomoying a deal. And then, then it didn't work. Then now the guy has come to get paid because I was trying to give you some ass and for my role, and you wanted the ass without the role. That's what happened, man.
Joining us now is former
That's what I think happened, apparently.
federal prosecutor and president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, Nima Rahmani. Thank you for taking the time, as always, to be with us here on Law.
So we are it's like 11 minutes, so we're going to watch a bit of the person who's coming on, then you can go catch the rest on this channel. I'll leave the link in the description.
Crime. I know we're still gathering information about exactly what Derek Dixon is accusing Tyler Perry of, but from what we know right now, how strong of a case does it seem that he has?
I need to check something. Derek Dixon, Tyler Perry texts. There's no acknowledged documentation to Derek Dixon and involved text. The reason for his career, blah blah. Sued Tyler is facing serious. So there's no texts like they as you would. They have just kept it in there. If Tyler Perry says no, they unleash them. Maybe, I don't know.
Chris, thanks for having me. Really breaking news today. Bombshell lawsuit against Tyler Perry, and information is coming in, but it does seem to be a strong case, at least in terms of the text messages. Sometimes in these sexual harassment cases, really the harassing behavior happens behind closed doors, and it's a he said, or he said, she said, or she said type situation. But text messages are fantastic, whether you're a prosecutor or a civil plaintiff's lawyer like I am. And looks like Dixon may have the receipts in this case.
Yeah, he's looking for $260 million. Even though Tyler Perry is a billionaire, that's still in terms of net worth, just from what I've been reading online. $260 million is a lot of money. What does that tell you? And when someone sues someone, like in this instance, it's not a criminal case, and you're looking for a specific amount of money, what goes into determining what that is?
Yeah, lawyers can say all sorts of things. Really, ultimately, what matters is what they ask the jury for. So they can ask for less or more during closing arguments. So I usually put that aside. It gets a lot of good headlines, but I can't imagine this case being worth 9 figures. Sexual harassment is wrong. Yeah. No one should be subject to it. And sometimes you get these nuclear verdicts or runaway juries, but I can't imagine a case like this going for that amount, even though...
That's what I think also. But I guess they usually come with a huge number. But when you come with such an astronomical number, people just know you're joking. They might come and tell you tunakupea 10K. Chukua ulipe hiyo lawyer's fees tuachane. But even if Tyler Perry pays even 10K is guilty.
Like I said, I don't condone any of this behavior.
No, and Derek Dixon, he has some text messages that that very much show. I mean, if Tyler Perry was someone who was supposed to be professionally his boss, that was going to open up career opportunities, it's not something that a boss would be allowed to say to an employee if that was their relationship. When it comes to this case, what's the bar that Derek Dixon would have to prove in court to get money from Tyler Perry?
So there's a few different claims, and they're all very serious. I'm not trying to downplay any of this. There's a sexual assault, right? Grabbing his buttocks, pulling his underwear down. That's pretty serious stuff. And then you have sexual harassment. What I say is really the worst kind of sexual harassment, which is the quid pro quo. That means, hey,
give me some booty and I'll give you a job or deal or vice versa. That's what he means.
you know, if you perform sexually, I will help your career. And if you don't, I'm going to retaliate. And the argument here is that Dixon was going to be written off the show if he didn't comply with these sexual demands. So, you know, when you go to law school or really study employment law, that is the textbook quid pro quo sexual harassment. This for that. You give me something, you get a benefit. And if you don't, you're going to be punished.
Yeah, and Tyler Perry, I mean, he is an institution in Hollywood. He's not the type of person, if you were an actor, that you would want, you wouldn't want to be on his bad list.
This is the thing I have about that. I've gone through my life, and maybe it's played against me, but I do not kiss ass, especially of degenerates and corrupt people. I do not. Wacha ikwende vile inakwenda, because once you compromise yourself that way, there's nothing else that you wouldn't do, because you've kind of just opened the door to it. Oh, I'm capable of doing that. So the next time they are, then they come, you do the other thing like that. I have zero tolerance. And that's just the way that if you want to live honestly, that's just the way it's going to have to be. You'll work harder, it will take you longer, but that's the price. Especially if you're working in a corrupted environment that's been corrupted morally, socially, you know, financially, in every way. Kwani mjifikiri hapo hakuna washo wa Hollywood? It's a 400 million budgets.
Their relationship started around 2019. The most serious incident, according to what we know thus far, is that incident where he was said he was only having, Derek Dixon said he was staying at Tyler Perry's guest house in Atlanta. He was only wearing underwear, and Tyler Perry apparently pulled his underwear down. That was back in 2021. It's now 2025. What do you make of the timeline that it took for Derek Dixon to come forward with these allegations, if they're true?
Well, that's one of the arguments the defense always makes, right? Is, well, if you were sexually assaulted or harassed, you know, why did you stay? Why didn't you report it right away? What I love as the plaintiff's lawyer is a contemporaneous report. So hopefully they have that. And I understand he's been getting therapy since 2020. So if he mentioned this to his therapist, that would certainly be helpful, in addition to the text message evidence that we had. Sometimes victims don't want to come forward, right? You're talking about a rich and famous individual, and look at what's happened. Perry's lawyer came out and said, this guy's lying. This is a shakedown. This is extortion, right? They always go after the victim. And we don't know if the allegations are true in this case or not, but
So you can't really call somebody a victim before the allegations are proven to be true. I don't know why they keep saying that. Oh, the victim. No, it's not a victim. It's not been proven yet.
Few sexual harassment cases are reported or litigated, and oftentimes the harassers, they get away with it. So, you know, if you read the lawsuit in this case, it's definitely meant for public consumption. It has those text messages embedded in, and it starts by comparing Tyler Perry to the Harvey Weinsteins and Diddy's of the world. And I'm not saying we've gotten that far, but those are serious sex trafficking, sexual assault allegations. Sexual harassment is wrong, and there is some sexual assault.
Okay, fine. So Law and Crime Network, there it has 7 million subscribers. Hey, hopefully. Now, what is my take on the initial claims? I'm just gonna go back to what is actually is expected, or what is known of Hollywood bigwigs and the way they've behaved for so many years. It's definitely a possibility, especially now that we're told a lot of them are gay, or at least they engage a lot in gay relationships. So it's very possible In fact, Tyler Perry doesn't have any attachment to any of these hot lasses that are just floating around Hollywood or without Hollywood. Is he gay? I don't know. But there have been a lot of rumors over the years. It's rumors. To be honest with you, I don't care as much as I would like to say. But I would care that if he's one of these guys that have been holding gentlemen hostage, their careers of gentlemen hostage before he gets some booty. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Especially the amount of heavy pandering he does to women. He's aggregating an army in case these relationships come to light. I also don't be shocked if very soon you see Tyler Perry with a very hot woman. I'm sorry. This is, when it's kind of, I don't want to say these things straight up because it might cause problems in future. I might become famous and then the words I say would be used against me. Or you say Tyler Perry, maybe there is no evidence or maybe he didn't do it. So I'm just saying, in my opinion, because of the way this industry in the Maju works, the amount of sexual degeneracy that is involved and all. Have you watched the way they show up everywhere? They're just degenerates, just showing off their pudacious. Oh, some guys wearing dresses, like it's all bullshit. The culture is bullshit. So things like this will be kawaida. In Kenya here, if you try an actor, you're a producer or director, you're trying to grab an actor's behind, you will know that your life is very short. That one I know, 100% I know. But here we are, where the almighty Tyler Perry is being accused of this. I have to be honest with you, I think that because the person came with asking for money first, I think he's looking for a money grab. And if those things happened, it's possible he's just one of these people that it didn't go their way, so they're just lashing out. It's also very possible that Tyler Perry is a fucking degenerate and he'll do these things, and they do these things in Hollywood because we have a lot of evidence. Especially now, you're seeing how they're turning all their kids into trans. Like all this, every hip actor, they have some kid who's gone. It's not even normal behavior. The instances are so unlikely. There's no other way other than they are grooming their kids into that lifestyle or sacrificing them so they can continue getting jobs in Hollywood. Those are just things that I hear and we see, and since maybe I don't have self-preservation, I just say them. I just say them because I'm sorry, a lot of these things are nonsense, and they're trying slowly but methodically trying to spread this culture throughout the world so that we're all confused about what a woman is, or am I a woman? Am I your kids that am I a girl? Your boy comes. My friend, you don't understand just how much cultural influence these actors and the art and the industry and the image have, that they may want to make your kids and even grown-ups to behave weird because they think they'll make money of it. So for this person, Derek Dixon, I hope he did not fiddle you. And if he did, I hope you can take a sizable chunk of his money and he can be removed, so he can start making for us these ridiculous movies. And that's the one thing that will turn out. We'll never have to see a lot of these bullshit Tyler Perry movies that are meant to emotionally manipulate women to think they're the number one victims. The straw review is coming. Yes, I am editing it. Mdogo. I have about 5 minutes of voiceover to do so that I can put it together nicely. Yeah, I'm doing a new kind of review way, not just sitting and just talking to you, but trying to bring in different facets, giving it cinematography a score, acting a score, directing, VFX, just giving it a score, then doing an overall. You kind of a bit more professional. I'm a VP. Otherwise, what do you think of my opinion? What do you think of this accusation to Tyler Perry? Somebody wants $260 million. Let's see how much that is in Kenya shillings. See how I just continue. When things come in Kenya shillings. 33 billion Kenya shillings. This nigga wants 33 billion shillings. Akina hata Ruto wanaibaga kupita hii. Anyway. If you do like this video, tafadhali subscribe to the channel. I need to get to 10,000. My next goal, 10,000. Share the video, leave a comment, like, algorithm, and also want some engagement. Yeah, just tell me what you think. Do you think the guy has something here? Because there are text messages and everything. Ama is looking for money because somebody's lover did not give him what he wanted.